How can an investigator with many years of experience forget the details of every case? Except for his unwavering belief that a cleared sub-postmaster is still guilty.
When you made the witness statement, did you think that Mr. Qualm continued to be guilty of the crime of embezzlement?
This witness statement here today?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Jason Beer Casey has asked Raymond Grant if he still thought a postmaster William Qualm was guilty even though he was cleared of wrongdoing in 2012. William Qualm pleaded guilty in 2010 to avoid prison, but died before his conviction was quashed. This segment shows the particularly nasty mindset of the post office, so-called investigators. Let's keep watching and see what Grant has to say about his witness statement.
My first day off during that was January the 1st, following a 10-hour night shift during New Year's Eve and New Year's morning. That was when I drafted this minimum statement to comply with Section 21 order. I apologised to the court, but for all the reasons I've said, that's the reason why it's such a short statement.
Thank you.
But listen to the comment from Jason Beer that is a brilliantly delivered sarcastic jibe.
Well, let's see whether we can improve on it today.
Thank you.
Now that carol services and dog walking are out of the way.
Raymond Grant is talking about his witness statement and the fact that he had very little time to write it due to working a 10-hour night shift, and apologizes to the court for the delay. He had months to write this and only turned up to the inquiry due to a Section 21 notice being issued to him. A Section 21 notice is basically a turn up or else notice.
We asked you, as the first question to address, please set out the date on which you began work at the post office.
Yeah.
And you didn't address it.
No.
When did you start to work at the post office?
Since I drafted this statement, I've sort of tried to think back. I think I started with Royal Mail as a postman in 1982. And from there, I've held a number of positions. If you allow me just a second. I was postman for a number of years. Then I went to postman higher grade, got the role as duty clerk in the office. I then became an assistant delivery office manager, 140 staff, and there was only 2 managers. I then got a role as a Royal Mail investigation manager. Don't ask me years or when that happened, because I have no conscious memory of that.
Raymond Grant is asked about when he started at the post office, and he went on to describe his different roles, postman, manager, etc. But like all the rest of the post office types that have appeared before the inquiry, he too suffers from the selective amnesia that the rest of the post office witnesses had suffered from. This smacks of witnesses being coached by devious lawyers to deliberately avoid answering questions that might put the post office at risk or put them in a bad light, and just say things like, "I can't recall, I don't remember, my memory is not too good."
I then transferred over to post office investigations. I'd see various job titles after that.
Is there any point in me asking you when that was?
No.
Grant mentions that he started in investigations, and before he can answer, Jason Beer says, "Is there any point in asking when that was?" And Grant just says no. What sort of people were these investigators? How did they get such a job? They were either very poorly educated, or it was just plain nastiness in their makeup that got them the job.
One of the documents that we provided you with in order to help you make your witness statement was a witness statement that you had made in the investigation of William Qualm back in 2008. Can we just look at that, please?
Jason Beer is taking Grant to the witness statement he made regards William Qualm, the postmaster that Grant still believes is guilty of embezzlement. So let's listen in on what was said in that witness statement.
You say, I've been employed by Royal Mail Group in various roles for around 26 years. My current position is investigation manager. And you explain what one of the main roles of an investigation manager was.
at that point, I hadn't read that document.
At this point here, Grant makes a rather startling admission. He says he didn't read that document as he describes it, yet it was a witness testimony he actually wrote himself. How can he not know what that document was? How is it possible that he didn't know it was his witness testimony? Grant is trying to use smoke and mirrors to throw Jason Beer off.
Because, as I said earlier, I was finding time constraints were very difficult for me to read any of the documents that had been sent.
And the 78 documents that we sent you, the 350-odd pages, you don't refer to any of them in your witness statement apart from the transcript of Mr. William Corm's interview, do you?
That's correct.
Sorry, that can come down from the screen now.
Jason Beer tells Grant that the only document that he referred to in this particular witness testimony is the interview he conducted with William Corm. It seems that Grant only referenced that interview with William Corm to push the point that he, Grant, believed William Corm to be guilty to try and further distress the family of William, who are likely to have been in the room. If this is a possibility, then Grant is more than just a nasty investigator, but a thoroughly despicable man and typical of the post office types that prevailed during the Horizon scandal.
And why was that? Why did you pick Mr. Corm's interview as the one document that you did refer to?
Well, this inquiry is about the degree of fairness that was applied to postmasters during the course of investigations and the subsequent prosecution of them. I was reminding myself what had been said during that interview, and it was the one thing that I believe that I had a major part in, because I was the lead investigator in that interview. So therefore, I thought it was important to refresh myself.
And the fact that you didn't look at or refer to the other 77 documents, that was because of the competing priorities on your time. Is that right?
That's correct.
Jason Beer asks Grant why he chose this particular document, that of William Corm's interview, and he mentions the fairness of the post office towards postmasters during prosecutions. If his idea of fairness is to make sure everyone knows that he, Grant, believes William to be guilty even though cleared of wrongdoing by the courts, then Grant is a seriously deluded individual. Well, this wraps up the deep dive video on Raymond Grant, and we would like to hear your views on this. So please leave a comment and please also subscribe to the channel.